Halfway there, Selena.
Ooh, it's Wednesday. Yeah.
There's an Eagles game tomorrow night.
Oh, that's right. Are you ready? Get the Eagles. Are
go
you ready?
Birds.
Go Birds.
Yeah.
You think they're ready?
I'm ready.
That strong win against Dallas.
I think Thursday night's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good game.
Against Washington too.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
First place on the line. It's the first time that the two of them have faced each other. I saw some statistic the other day. It's the first time that they'll be facing each other. Washington's been really bad. The Eagles had a couple of bad years in the last couple decades, but Washington had like a stretch of really bad. So this is the first time the two teams are meeting where they're both at least 2 games over 500 since like 2001 or something like that, or 2000.
Washington was in first place in the conference, right?
Division. Well, Detroit was in in the division. Yes,
in the division.
And then they lost this week to Pittsburgh, and so they both have 7 wins, but the Eagles only have 2 losses, and Washington has 3.
Bumped them up just this week. This weekend, they were just bumped up. Eagles were just bumped up in first place. So, this is gonna be an exciting game. Oh, don't mess it up. Don't get cocky, Sirianni. Don't get right. Well, that's what you were complaining about last time during that game where he was making decisions, and you're like, "What is he doing?"
He has made some decisions that make you scratch your head. So the good news is, if you just do what you did to Dallas and you win by 100 points, you don't have to worry about that. But
it was the game before. It wasn't the Dallas game. It was it
was Jacksonville. Yeah, he's had it was Jacksonville. He's had a couple of games where he's just stop overthinking this and just, so we'll see.
Taking a point off of the board. I remember that. No, we're not going for the for the field kick.
Just for the field kick.
I was going to ask you, did I get the wrong phrase? I'm trying. I'm watching though. Come on. I really sound like my mom though. It's an out of body experience. I'm watching.
No, you're
maybe I'm thinking of even my son's like, Mom, that's not what it's called. I'm like, you got a penalty kick. He's like, that's not called a penalty kick, Mom. It's called a free kick. I'm like, it looks the same to me. It's just a matter of where you are on the field.
Yeah.
It's soccer. I should know by now.
That's all right. You're doing good. Oh, yeah. So it should be fun.
Listen, I'm just going to go back to my childhood. Remember your favorite toys that you played with? What were yours? You were a little kid. So let's see. What decade are we going back to for Crockett? When little Crockett was.
I was born in 85, but like playing really probably would be a 90s kid. So if it wasn't a football or basketball, probably my wrestling action figures.
Oh, okay. Stretch Armstrong came out in the 80s, right? I think
that was too bougie for my house. I wasn't allowed to have a Stretch Armstrong.
And if I'm wrong, please let us know, because I thought that was an 80s toy, but I could be wrong. So then these toys came out even before you were born.
Stretch Armstrong, I feel like was it might have been originally earlier. Came out like way older than the 80s, I think.
I think you're right. I mean, it was in a song. It was in a country song. I remember. So these toys are classics. They came out before you were born, and they're still around. And they finally made it to the Toy Hall of Fame. This one was a 7-time finalist. Never made it, finally made it this year. And I love braiding the hair. My Little Pony. Still strong because my daughter still plays.
The Susan Lucci of games in the Gaming Hall of Fame.
They should have a Susan Lucci, My Little Pony. That'd be funny. That made it. So that was from 1982. I mean, at one point, it even sold more. They sold more My Little Ponies than Barbies, and it still wasn't put in. But finally made it this year. The braiding of the hair, man. You'd give the pony a bath, and then the hair was never the same again. It was always such a disappointment. So
That's how it always goes. That's how it always goes.
Here's another one too, and I always wanted to play with this when I was a little kid. My parents wouldn't get it for me, so I'd go over to my friend's house. Her brother had these toys, so I would like, can I try? Well, now my kids, and I make sure my daughter plays with it too, because who says it's only for boys? Finally, we've learned Transformers. They're so cool. I love them, and I get to play with them now that my kids have them. Finally made it. They were first introduced in 1984. And made it.
They are cool until your kid takes them apart. Until the first time you help them, show them how it works, and then they come back to you a couple days later, and you're like, I don't know. Now it's half car, half man. I don't know what to tell you what this thing is. Kelly, good morning. Brenda, Joe, good morning.
It's funny because my son has one that makes a sound, power up, and when you turn the lights off, it goes power up. It's terrifying. And finally, the card game. We have to go in about 20 seconds, but the card game Phase 10. Never played that. I don't know what that is. So I got to look into that one.
I feel like it was Uno Wish. I feel like it was like multicolored cards and stuff like that.
I think you might be right. Yeah, just because I was looking at it. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful Wednesday halfway through the week.